Hi there, it's Mrs. Bridges, and today, boys and girls, we're going to talk a little bit more about understanding characters in a story, and more specifically, we're going to look at the difference between emotions of a character and traits of a character. So, there's a little difference between these two, and if you look over here on the left, the emotions describe how a character feels at a certain point in time, like how they feel right this minute. Okay? And I could ask myself, how does the character feel right now? And this is supposed to say now. How does the character feel right now? All right? Whereas if I go over to my right side on this sheet, the traits of a character describe the character's normal personality, like how they usually are on most days, how they are over more of a long time, like how you would describe them as a person usually. And I can ask myself about a character's traits by asking, how does the character usually behave? Okay? So the emotions are how they feel like right this minute, right now. And the traits are how they usually are, normally, what their personality's like. If we look at a Venn diagram, let me get this set up here for you. The emotions are over here, the traits are over here, and in the middle, it's what they share as to how they're similar. So I know that emotions and traits of a character both are shown through their thoughts, their feelings, and their actions of the character. But the big difference is that the emotions of the character are how they feel like at a certain second or at a certain time. Okay, they could feel embarrassed right now, but they're not always going to be embarrassed every day, every night, just right now. They could be very upset just right now, but not necessarily upset over a long time. So the emotions are how they feel at any certain point in time. Emotions tell how the character is feeling right now, and the emotions will change quickly. The character in the story's emotions will change quickly. We go back over to the traits side. The traits tell how a character usually feels, and it could change over a long time, but their traits are going to last a long time. For example, if a character is very friendly, you're likely going to see that character be friendly throughout most of the whole story. Or if that character is very bossy, that's a trait, because that character is probably going to tend to be bossy most of the time, like it's part of their personality over time. Or maybe they're a shy kind of a person, and that's a character trait. It's not that they're shy just for a second, they're shy over a long time period because that's part of their personality as a person or as a character. Okay? So, emotions and traits of characters, we do see them through the way they think and act. But emotions are just a quick second of how do they feel right this minute, whereas traits are how do they feel or how is their personality actually over a long time. Okay? An example of this character trait idea is if you think back in Journeys this year in third grade to the story that we enjoyed called A Fine, Fine School. And if you remember, there was the principal of that school, and his name was Mr. Keene, and he had some thoughts, and he had some feelings, and he had some actions. And if you remember, boys and girls, that Mr. Keene, Principal Keene, he wanted the children the children wanted more school. That's what he thought. He thought they wanted to go to school on Saturdays and weekends and all of that. And that makes him be, that's how he thought, and that could tell us that he is a dedicated man. He's dedicated to being a principal, to doing a good job as a principal. So a character trait could be that he was dedicated, and we would see him as a dedicated person to his job all through the story. Now, his feelings, if you remember, that he was very proud of the children and teachers and of all the learning they did together. So the feelings would be another character trait we could say is that Mr. Keene was proud. He was very proud. A proud man of his school all school year long. And the actions that he did, he added Saturday school and he added Sunday school and he even added summer school. And those actions, he thought he was being helpful. That tells me one of his character traits is that he's a helpful man. And we would see him as helpful throughout the whole story. So these traits of him, dedicated, proud, and helpful, are 3 traits or ways that we could describe his personality throughout the whole story, just based on what we knew he thought and he felt and how he acted. Okay? So I hope today in our lesson that I have helped you understand more about character traits and how they're a little bit different than their emotions, but their traits last a long time through the whole story. Thanks, boys and girls, for listening. I hope you have a great day.